So in case you haven't heard, this one film called Obsession is dominating right now. It's an independent film, well, at least according to this Google search, and it's about this dude named Bear who uses a supernatural toy to make his crush fall in love with him, but instead it leads to very horrible consequences. The budget of this film was like $1 million. Look how much it's made in a week! And now look, I haven't actually seen this film, I'm not a big horror person, but people who are into this kind of genre are loving this film. And to be honest, here's what's making me love this film without even seeing it. The idea. Because when you think about it, the idea is a pretty simple idea. And honestly, it feels like sometimes that the films with the simplest ideas almost turn out to be the best films. The 80s is a great example. You got Back to the Future, Terminator, Ghostbusters, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I'm sure you can think of many more. But what I really want to talk about is how independent films, or indie films, to be honest, making ideas that are more creative and original than the billion-dollar studios. I actually stumbled upon another independent film that, oh my goodness guys, the plot of this film? Okay, so the film is called It Ends. Basically, it's about a group of graduates who are stuck on a never-ending road. I will be discussing spoilers for the ending, so if you don't want to hear about that, just skip to this point. But anyway, basically in the film, the graduates travel far with more and more giving up, eventually until one named James remains, basically determined to reach the end of this road, convinced it's there, and that he can escape this nightmare. But when he reaches the end, he just finds a sign that says, "Road Ends," and he literally just gives up. Like, from what it sounds like, he's just accepted, he's trapped, and I don't know what it is, but when I just read the plot for this film on Wikipedia, I was just like, it sounded so good. Critics love it. Actually, even next week, another independent film is coming out, The Backrooms. And that sounds like a very interesting film. I know it's based off a YouTube channel, I think. I'm not all that familiar with where The Backrooms started. I think it was from YouTube originally. But here's what really strikes me. Mandalorian and Grogu is out now, and I'm seeing a lot of reviews saying this is a very safe film, which is something that can happen in a lot of movies. It can be safe in many different ways, actually. Whether it be using the same actor for what feels like every big project, or just making remakes of what you already have. And of course, like Mandalorian and Grogu, you have that one very safe and very generic plot. Because Hollywood can be very scared to take risks sometimes. So then when you have indie films like Obsession, It Ends, Backrooms, or Iron Lung, it can be exciting. Because these are ideas, well, okay, actually, I don't know how original these ideas actually are. Because I don't know, maybe you, the viewers, maybe you people watching have already seen or heard ideas that are very similar to the movies I'm listing. But to me, Obsession sounds like a very cool idea, very awesome, very genius. And before you say it in the comments, I know indie films are not a new thing at all. The Blair Witch Project is also, I think, an indie film. It had a very small budget, and it made bank! So more or less, this year has kind of proved that indie films can still be creative and still make a profit. I know what the current box office of Obsession isn't like, you know, Avengers Doomsday level good, but hey, for a film that's on a $1 million budget, this amount is a very big win. And thankfully, not every studio is playing it safe. There are still films today that are trying to take risks and trying different things, which I'm thankful for, no matter how big or small the risk is in the film. And I do hope that Disclosure Day is also a success, because this will prompt bigger studios to take even more risks and, even better, try to make more original ideas. But also, I'm not saying that we'll, like, escape remakes, reboots, and sequels. I know they're probably always going to be a thing forever, but they don't have to be like constant thing forever. I actually made a whole video talking about reboots, remakes, and sequels. But either way, the fact that there are still people out there who are trying to give us original ideas, whether it be through indie films or big budget films, it's still relieving to see. And original ideas are still present. There's definitely someone out there who has an original idea. And these films are also proof that original ideas can still exist. And again, I think this year is going to prove that indie films and original films can still perform well and are still worth checking out in the theater. But what do you think? Do you think indie films are still producing original quality? Let me know in the comments down below. Click this video right here. YouTube thinks like this one the best. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys.